Chapter 553. Power hits a bottleneck. Accelerated time, particle worlds can birth life. In the secluded chamber of Lin Fei's residence, he had returned, and without a doubt, he immediately began creating more particle worlds. He acquired 9 more worldly laws from the 8th lightning tribulation. Thus, with practiced ease, he created another 900 particle worlds. This led to another dramatic surge in Lin Fei's strength. System. Lin Fei promptly accessed the system to check his status. Host, Lin Fei. Martial Realm, Martial God, 8 Lightning Tribulations. Great Dream Heart Sutra, 2nd Layer, Progress 1%. 4 Symbols and 5 Elements Creation Technique, 5,300 Particle Worlds. World Tao, Progress 16%. Lin Fei's particle worlds had reached a total of 5,300. And his progress in the worldly Tao had increased to 16%, and he was finally on the right track. For a true monarch, increasing the comprehension of the Tao by even 1% is extremely difficult. It's uncertain how long it might take. Some true monarchs might even spend their entire lives unable to increase their Tao progress. Yet, Lin Fei managed a 10% increase in one go. The issue of comprehending the Tao over a long time. Therefore, any difference in the flow of time is of no use to Lin Fei. However, Lin Fei now wishes to accelerate time within his particle worlds. The only method Lin Fei knows related to time flow speed is the Great Dream Heart Sutra. However, Lin Fei was well aware that the reason the Great Dream Heart Sutra seemed to accelerate time was because of its connection to dream realms. It's Lin Fei's consciousness that immerses in these dreamscapes, allowing thoughts to move faster within the realm of dreams, thereby creating an effect of accelerated time. This doesn't mean the Great Dream Heart Sutra can actually accelerate time in reality. Time is perhaps one of the most mysterious laws, only accessible to martial ancestors and Tao integration true immortals. The laws of time and space are beyond the reach of true monarchs, accessible only to beings of higher power. This means that the Great Dream Heart Sutra might be ineffective for particle worlds, right? Lin Fei pondered, frowning. There was another concern. If time within the particle worlds was accelerated, being part of Lin Fei's body, wouldn't that also accelerate his own aging? Lin Fei felt the impact should be negligible. After all, his particle worlds, compared to the total number of particles in his body, were like a drop in the ocean, insignificant and unlikely to affect his lifespan. Whether the Great Dream Heart Sutra is useful or not, I'll know only after trying, Lin Fei thought. I'll cultivate it to the highest level and see if it can truly accelerate time. Holding on to this slim hope, Lin Fei knew that his only current means to experiment with time acceleration was the Great Dream Heart Sutra. His current strength was probably enough to withstand up to the 7th heavenly lightning of the 9th tribulation. However, the 8th and especially the 9th lightnings were still uncertain. To further enhance his strength, he would need to find worlds on the brink of collapse at the true monarch level, which was exceedingly difficult. The encounter with the Holy Emperor realm was a stroke of luck. Hoping for another such collapsing true monarch level world seemed far-fetched. Unlike smaller worlds, which could be rapidly destabilized by numerous martial gods and deity transformation cultivators, true monarch level worlds don't have as many true monarchs to hasten their collapse. They must evolve and reach the brink of collapse naturally, making it a rare and luck-dependent occurrence. Lin Fei realized that he couldn't always count on luck to encounter true monarch-level worlds on the brink of collapse. It's just not realistic. However, if he could induce life in his 5,200 particle worlds, it would be a transformative leap. If all these worlds birthed life, it would significantly boost Lin Fei's physical strength, making it easy to withstand the 8th and 9th heavenly lightnings. Therefore, practicing the Great Dream Heart Sutra seemed worth trying. Currently, Lin Fei had only reached the 2nd level of the Great Dream Heart Sutra with just 1% progress. However, if he could access the content of the 3rd level, he would immediately step into it. In the 3rd level of the Dream Realm, the time flow speed is 100-fold. That means 1 day in the Divine Realm equates to 100 days in the 3rd level of the Dream Realm. The challenge was that the 3rd level of the Great Dream Heart Sutra was costly, requiring 100,000 contribution points, and the 4th level even more so, demanding 1,000,000 contribution points. As for the 5th and highest level, the exact number of contribution points needed was unknown, but it required personal transmission from the Great Dream Ancestor. Lin Fei decided to first exchange for the 3rd and 4th levels of the Great Dream Heart Sutra, then try to obtain the 5th level from the Great Dream Ancestor. He wanted to see if the ultimate level of the Great Dream Heart Sutra could accelerate time in his particle worlds. With his decision made, Lin Fei closed his eyes and soon entered the dream realm. Inside, he arrived at the Great Dream City, bustling as always with many members of the Great Dream sect, mostly martial gods. True monarchs were a minority in the Great Dream City. Lin Fei headed straight to the mission hall to earn contribution points by taking on tasks. He went to the 2nd floor, where true monarch level tasks were assigned. These tasks offered significant contribution points, equivalent to 10 or even more martial god level tasks. Chapter 554. Yet another betrayal, striking down a Dao companion. True monarch level tasks were indeed rare and few in number. As Lin Fei scanned through them, he quickly focused on a few due to their high reward in contribution points. Lin Fei rarely undertook missions in the Great Dream sect, but now he felt the need to do so. Assist this true monarch in slaying our sworn enemy, 100 Flowers True Monarch. Reward, 200,000 contribution points. Lin Fei was surprised to see a reward of 200,000 contribution points. It was likely the entirety of the offering True Monarch's accumulated points. 100 Flowers True Monarch. Lin Fei mused. He wasn't familiar with 100 Flowers True Monarch, so he left the mission hall to gather more information about them in the Great Dream City. After making various inquiries, Lin Fei finally unearthed some information about the 100 Flowers True Monarch and even stumbled upon an unexpected revelation. Wait, what did you say? Lin Fei asked, visibly surprised. 100 Flowers True Monarch was once known as Huashanzi during their deity transformation phase and only adopted the name 100 Flowers True Monarch after reaching True Monarch status. They even founded the 100 Flowers sect, becoming a major immortal sect in the Yin-Yang immortal realm. The name 100 Flowers True Monarch was unfamiliar to Lin Fei, but he recognized the name Huashanzi. It seemed he had come across a familiar tale. Lin Fei still remembered the request from Qin Yuzi, a half-step deity transformation cultivator who left behind the Dao artifact Dubhe. Qin Yuzi had asked Lin Fei to do something for him. If Lin Fei ever became capable, he must kill Huashanzi. Qin Yuzi and Huashanzi were once Dao companions, but Qin Yuzi was severely injured in a sneak attack by Huashanzi, leaving him stuck at the half-step deity transformation stage for life. Meanwhile, Huashanzi advanced to become a deity transformation powerhouse. Previously in the ancient continent, Lin Fei had searched for Huashanzi but to no avail. Huashanzi had moved to the Divine Realm, and Lin Fei, upon arriving in the Divine Realm later, had forgotten about this matter. Unexpectedly, Huashanzi, originating from the ancient continent, did not join the ancient covenant but instead went to the Yin-Yang immortal realm and even broke through to become a true monarch. From this perspective, Huashanzi's talents were indeed terrifying, perhaps even surpassing Qin Yuzi. However, regardless of the circumstances, Lin Fei owed a debt of gratitude to Qin Yuzi and had even promised to kill Huashanzi if within his power. He hadn't encountered Huashanzi before, but now that he knew of her whereabouts, he had to try, even against a true monarch, to see if he could kill her. Moreover, killing Huashanzi would also yield 200,000 contribution points from the Great Dream sect. Even without Qin Yuzi's request, Lin Fei would still target Huashanzi. The main challenge, however, was dealing with the avatars of a void transformation true monarch, similar to a deity transformation cultivator who possesses numerous avatars. To kill a true monarch, Lin Fei would have to eliminate all of their avatars. Previously, Lin Fei managed to slay deity transformation cultivators by relying on Shen's illusions. However, these illusions were no longer effective against true monarchs. Lin Fei would have to rely on himself. Martial true monarchs can lock onto the avatars of immortal true monarchs, Lin Fei thought. Then, by continuously traversing through the void, eliminating one avatar after another. But this method is too inefficient. Lin Fei frowned, honestly not fully confident in his ability to eliminate all avatars of 100 Flowers True Monarch. After all, no one knew exactly how many avatars 100 Flowers True Monarch possessed. In theory, a true monarch could have millions of avatars. How could one possibly kill them all? Even if Lin Fei spent every moment trying to kill 100 Flowers True Monarch's avatars, it would be an endless task, unlikely to ever truly kill her. Regardless, take the task first, Lin Fei decided. Then I'll meet with the true monarch who posted the task to see if they have any solutions. Lin Fei had a feeling that the true monarch who posted the mission might have some methods, otherwise the task would be impossible to complete. He quickly accepted the task and received an address, learning the name of the true monarch who posted it, Ancient Covenant's Hanging True Monarch. Hanging True Monarch. A thought struck Lin Fei, and he immediately returned his focus to the real world. Whoosh! Lin Fei opened his eyes and the task was accepted. Now, he was set to meet with Hanging True Monarch. He was curious as to why this true monarch would offer such a substantial reward to kill a void transformation true monarch. After all, everyone knew that killing a void transformation true monarch was incredibly difficult. What deep hatred did Hanging True Monarch have against 100 Flowers True Monarch to go to such lengths, even willing to spend 200,000 contribution points to have her killed? Lin Fei left the secluded chamber and soon arrived at Hanging True Monarch's residence, a modest courtyard. Approaching the gate, he announced loudly, "Lin Fei has come to pay respects to Hanging True Monarch." "True Monarch Lin, please come in," a calm and composed voice responded from inside. The gate opened and Lin Fei entered. In the courtyard stood a slender, elegant man with an extraordinary demeanor. On seeing Lin Fei, he smiled slightly and said, "I didn't expect the one who accepted the task to be the renowned Lin Fei of the Ancient Covenant. True Monarch Lin, you've just passed the 8th lightning tribulation. Are you sure you want to take on this task?" "Yes, Hanging True Monarch, it is I who have accepted the task," Lin Fei confirmed. "However, I have a question. What deep enmity exists between you and 100 Flowers True Monarch that compels you to go to such lengths against her? I would appreciate your candidness." Lin Fei, having accepted the task, naturally wanted to understand the full story. It would be unwise to go against an immortal True Monarch without knowing the details. Hanging True Monarch looked at Lin Fei and, after a deep breath and a flash of cold light in his eyes, said gravely, "True Monarch Lin, it's no secret, and there's no harm in telling you. 100 Flowers True Monarch and I were once Tao companions. When 100 Flowers True Monarch first arrived from the ancient wilderness, she was just at the deity transformation stage. I helped her acclimate to the divine realm, and eventually, we became Tao companions, spending 10,000 years together, both reaching the peak of deity transformation. But I was a martial god, and she was a deity transformation cultivator. Our cultivation philosophies and needs were different. Later, she said her time had come, that her cultivation method required cutting off emotional ties, and she wanted to part ways. I disagreed. But unexpectedly, 100 Flowers True Monarch attacked me suddenly, even attempting to kill me. However, I survived and escaped. Later, I heard she became a void transformation True Monarch. I joined the Great Dream sect, diligently cultivated, and eventually also became a True Monarch. I went to the 100 Flowers sect several times, seeking revenge. Not only did I fail to kill her, but I also returned injured each time. 100 Flowers True Monarch, a person who could strike at her Tao companion of 10,000 years. How could I tolerate such deep enmity? How could I be content without killing her? Hanging True Monarch's hatred was profound and ingrained. Betrayed by a Tao companion and even subjected to a murder attempt, such a betrayal was deeply sorrowful. However, Lin Fei found something peculiar about this story. It was strangely familiar to him. Wasn't the story of Qin Yuzi and Hua Shanzi similar? They were also Tao companions, and in a quest for treasures, Hua Shanzi betrayed and attempted to kill Qin Yuzi. Unlike Hanging True Monarch, Qin Yuzi wasn't so fortunate. He was gravely injured, condemned to remain at the half-step deity transformation for life, and possibly even later killed by Hua Shanzi. This Hua Shanzi, now known as 100 Flowers True Monarch, seemed to have a pattern of betraying and striking against her Tao companions. What could be the reason behind this? Lin Fei felt that there might be more to 100 Flowers True Monarch than meets the eye, perhaps even a shocking secret. Chapter 555. 100 Flowers True Monarch enraged, 30,000 battle avatars descend. After pondering for a long while, Lin Fei slowly spoke, "Hanging True Monarch, you must be aware that 100 Flowers True Monarch, being a void transformation True Monarch, has numerous avatars. It's incredibly difficult, even almost impossible, to completely eradicate her. Then, what's the purpose of posting this task? I, Lin Fei, am willing to take on this task. While I do not fear 100 Flowers True Monarch, dealing with her countless avatars is a different matter. Lin Fei laid out his concerns plainly. He was capable of confronting 100 Flowers' true monarch, but he wasn't sure about eliminating every single one of her avatars. It was an honest admission. Hanging Moon True Monarch's eyes brightened at this. He nodded and said, "True Monarch Lin, if you're willing to take action, you don't need to exterminate 100 Flowers' true monarch completely. I am aware that an immortal true monarch has millions of avatars. There's no need for you to deal with the ordinary ones. If you can eliminate most of 100 Flowers' true monarch's battle avatars, effectively dismantling her primary combat strength, that would suffice. As for the remaining avatars, I will deal with them myself. Even if it takes thousands or tens of thousands of years, I will keep hunting down her avatars until every single one is destroyed. This way, I would consider my vengeance fulfilled." Lin Fei was taken aback by this declaration and couldn't help but scrutinize Hanging Moon True Monarch more closely. The fact that Hanging Moon True Monarch could make such a statement indicated he was a person of ruthless resolve. Lin Fei understood Hanging Moon True Monarch's intentions. With her powerful battle avatars, 100 Flowers' true monarch was currently too strong for Hanging Moon True Monarch to handle. Each time he approached the 100 Flowers sect, he was soundly defeated by her. However, if Lin Fei could dismantle most of 100 Flowers' true monarch's combat strength, then Hanging Moon True Monarch could steadily pursue and attack her over time. This gradual hunt and elimination of her avatars seemed to be Hanging Moon True Monarch's real goal, a way to corner 100 Flowers' true monarch and savor the feeling of revenge. "I understand, it's mainly the battle avatars, right?" Lin Fei confirmed. "There should be no problem on my part. However, Hanging Moon True Monarch, you may have to work hard to draw out 100 Flowers' true monarch's battle avatars. How many of her battle avatars can you lure out?" "I can draw out about 10,000 without issue. If I fight desperately, not retreating even in the face of death, 100 Flowers' true monarch might deploy up to 20,000 battle avatars. That's nearly all she has. If True Monarch Lin can eliminate these 20,000 battle avatars of 100 Flowers' true monarch, then the mission will be considered complete, and you can claim the reward of 200,000 contribution points." Lin Fei now fully understood. Hanging Moon True Monarch never expected anyone to completely eliminate 100 Flowers' true monarch. The objective was to destroy most of her battle avatars, allowing Hanging Moon True Monarch's power to eventually overshadow hers. That alone would be sufficient. It would be up to 100 Flowers' true monarch herself to slowly seek her revenge. "When do we depart?" "Anytime is fine." "Then let's leave now, to avoid any unforeseen complications." With that, Hanging Moon True Monarch and Lin Fei left Ancient City together, traversing through the void towards the Yin-Yang Immortal Realm and the 100 Flowers sect. The 100 Flowers sect, although not established for a very long time and with shallow foundations, was flourishing rapidly. Its influence and territory were continually expanding. The primary reason for this success was its founder and leader, a true monarch. At the main hall of the 100 Flowers sect, 100 Flowers' true monarch sat on her throne, listening to subordinates report on the sect's affairs. Suddenly, ripples of spatial fluctuations appeared in the hall. Her brows furrowed. She recognized these ripples as signs of someone traveling through space, approaching the 100 Flowers sect. She immediately guessed it was likely Hanging Moon True Monarch. Indeed, a familiar figure soon appeared in front of 100 Flowers' true monarch. "Hanging Moon, it's you," she exclaimed. "Haven't you learned from the last lesson? Do you really think I wouldn't dare to kill you?" "Kill me? Hua Shanzi, if you could have killed me, you would have done so long ago without mercy," Hanging Moon True Monarch retorted with a cold laugh. 100 Flowers' true monarch's face turned ashen. She was genuinely troubled and even regretted not killing Hanging Moon when she had the chance. She hadn't expected Hanging Moon to become a true monarch and become such a persistent nuisance. If possible, she would have liked to eliminate him once and for all, but for now, she was unable to kill Hanging Moon True Monarch. "Hua Shanzi, you can't kill me," said Hanging Moon True Monarch with a determined glare. "But I can keep causing you trouble. I'll make sure your life and your 100 Flowers sect are filled with endless headaches." His words visibly infuriated 100 Flowers True Monarch. She was angered not just by his words but also because she knew he was capable of causing constant disruptions. "Hanging Moon True Monarch, today, I will kill you," declared 100 Flowers True Monarch, her murderous intent now fully unleashed. Initially, she had some reservations, but now she wanted to eliminate Hanging Moon True Monarch completely, regardless of the cost. She had had enough of his persistent harassment. The next moment, one after another, the battle avatars of 100 Flowers True Monarch began to traverse through space towards them. Hanging True Monarch threw a powerful punch, turning the entire main hall of the 100 Flowers sect to ashes. The two of them flew into the void to continue their battle. But 100 Flowers True Monarch's battle avatars didn't stop coming. Hundreds, then thousands, and eventually tens of thousands appeared, nearly filling the entire space. A quick scan by Hanging True Monarch revealed that there were not just 20,000, but 30,000 battle avatars, the number beyond his initial estimation. This was likely the full extent of 100 Flowers True Monarch's strength. Under normal circumstances, she would never mobilize almost all of her battle avatars at once. Such a move risked significant losses if any unforeseen situation arose. 100 Flowers True Monarch, driven by desperation to eliminate Hanging True Monarch, cared little for the consequences at this point. She was ready to pay any price to achieve her goal. She knew well that 1,000 or 2,000 battle avatars might not be enough to threaten Hanging True Monarch, but 30,000 could potentially pose a serious threat, even possibly killing him. "You forced my hand, Hanging Moon," she shouted with lethal intent. At her command, the 30,000 battle avatars unleashed their full power and surged towards Hanging True Monarch in an overwhelming wave, quickly engulfing his massive divine form. Chapter 556. Lin Fei intervenes, Saber World descends. Hanging True Monarch was in trouble. He had underestimated 100 Flowers True Monarch's strength and did not anticipate that she possessed a total of 30,000 battle avatars. Now, overwhelmed by this formidable force, Hanging True Monarch was struggling to withstand the onslaught. Moreover, he couldn't retreat, he had to continue attracting and restraining these avatars. 100 Flowers True Monarch watched intently, relieved to see Hanging True Monarch steadfastly holding his ground, not showing any signs of attempting to break through. This was unusual behavior for Hanging True Monarch, who in the past would flee at the first sign of danger, never engaging in prolonged battles. Why was he now so determined to fight to the death? This deviation from his usual pattern raised 100 Flowers True Monarch's suspicions, but she couldn't quite pinpoint what was off. "I can't hold on any longer." Suddenly, Hanging True Monarch gritted his teeth and yelled towards the outside of the hall. "Is there someone else?" 100 Flowers True Monarch's expression shifted slightly. She quickly realized what Hanging True Monarch meant. Had he sought help? But which True Monarch would assist Hanging True Monarch against 100 Flowers True Monarch? 100 Flowers True Monarch, a formidable ethereal True Monarch with millions of avatars, was nearly impossible to kill. Would the person aiding Hanging True Monarch not fear her retaliation? As these thoughts raced through 100 Flowers True Monarch's mind, a figure suddenly emerged from the void. It was Lin Fei, who immediately spotted 100 Flowers True Monarch. Saber World. Without hesitation, Lin Fei deployed his Saber World, integrating all 52 worldly laws, elevating it to the True Monarch level. Saber World descended, not to suppress but to envelop the 30,000 battle avatars of 100 Flowers True Monarch. Trapping these avatars was Lin Fei's objective. Break. 100 Flowers True Monarch, sensing the terrifying might of Saber World, realized she was cut off from the outside world. She understood that her 30,000 battle avatars were at risk of being completely ensnared. Refusing to let Hanging True Monarch and Lin Fei succeed, 100 Flowers True Monarch immediately commanded her avatars to attempt to break through Saber World and escape. If her battle avatars could flee, she would essentially be in an unassailable position. However, Lin Fei's Saber World had evolved significantly. Now at the True Monarch level, especially after integrating 9 worldly laws, its power had reached an almost unimaginable level. It was more than capable of containing the ethereal True Monarch's battle avatars, even if there were 30,000 of them. Boom! Lin Fei's Saber World vibrated intensely under the onslaught of 30,000 battle avatars, each with the strength of a True Monarch. However, their collective assault only caused the Saber World to tremble, they were far from breaking through it. Witnessing this, 100 Flowers True Monarch's expression darkened. "Who are you?" she demanded coldly. "Are you not afraid of my retaliation for helping Hanging Moon? Can you even kill all my avatars?" 100 Flowers True Monarch eyed Lin Fei suspiciously, not recognizing him. Despite Lin Fei's growing reputation, not many had actually seen him, especially in the yin-yang immortal realm, far from the ancient covenant. Lin Fei calmly studied 100 Flowers True Monarch. Do you remember Qin Yuzi? He suddenly asked. At the mention of Qin Yuzi, 100 Flowers' true monarch's face drastically changed. Qin Yuzi? How do you know about Qin Yuzi? Who are you? The mere mention of Qin Yuzi seemed to touch a nerve. Her eyes brimmed with lethal intent as if the name was her forbidden word. I am Lin Fei from the Ancient Covenant, Lin Fei replied nonchalantly. Ancient Covenant's Lin Fei? The one who withstood 9 heavenly lightnings and is still undergoing tribulation? Yes, that's me, Lin Fei confirmed. I once received favors from Qin Yuzi. He died at your hands, and it's time to settle that blood debt today. Without further ado, Lin Fei launched a powerful punch towards 100 Flowers' true monarch. Boom! Lin Fei unleashed the formidable power of his 5,300 particle worlds, creating a force as overwhelming as a surging torrent, crushing towards the battle avatars of 100 Flowers' true monarch within the Saber world. But it was an absolute overbearing suppression. The power of the 5,300 particle worlds was earth-shattering. Feeling just a hint of its aura, 100 Flowers' true monarch realized her battle avatars couldn't withstand it. She was no match for this level of power. Under Lin Fei's mighty strike, 10, 100, 1,000 of 100 Flowers' true monarch's battle avatars were obliterated. Saber world, suppress. Lin Fei activated the full power of his Saber world, further augmenting it with the might of the particle worlds. It was a one-sided slaughter. 100 Flowers' true monarch's battle avatars stood no chance against such overwhelming force. Every avatar crushed by Lin Fei's fist instantly shattered into ashes. Thus, 100 Flowers' true monarch's battle avatars were rapidly vanishing at a visibly fast rate, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. In a short span, Lin Fei had destroyed 10,000 of her 30,000 battle avatars. Witnessing this scene, Hanging Moon True Monarch was profoundly shocked. He now understood that Lin Fei's reputation was not unearned. Such strength placed Lin Fei among the very top echelons of true monarchs. Ha ha ha, Hua Shanzi, you two have met your day. Hanging Moon True Monarch laughed uproariously. Meanwhile, 100 Flowers' true monarch's complexion turned ashen. She knew she had been defeated, and it was a crushing defeat at that. In the face of Lin Fei, she was powerless, and her 30,000 battle avatars were on the brink of being entirely annihilated. Losing all these avatars would be catastrophic for her. Even as an ethereal true monarch, she wouldn't die, but losing her primary combat avatars meant she would no longer be a match for Hanging Moon True Monarch. He would be able to relentlessly pursue and whittle down her strength. Qin Yuzi deserved to die, she ranted in a crazed tone. If he had just given me all his treasures, none of this would have happened. And you, Hanging Moon, you deserve to die too. I regret not killing you completely back then, allowing you to become a true monarch. Hua Shanzi was utterly hysterical, no longer the lofty 100 Flowers' true monarch but a figure of manic desperation. However, her words did nothing to affect Lin Fei. Soon, Lin Fei completely obliterated all but one of her battle avatars. 100 Flowers' true monarch, speak, Lin Fei said calmly, hands behind his back. You were once our companions with Qin Yuzi and later with Hanging Moon True Monarch, yet you betrayed them both. Why did you do it? Chapter 557. The third layer of the dream realm, time flows 100 times faster. Why? 100 Flowers' true monarch sneered. As cultivators, how can we cling to mortal love and affection? A Tao companion is but a means to aid cultivation. They are useful when they can contribute to my cultivation, but when I need more resources or attain higher levels, I must take theirs. Only those who aid my cultivation are true Tao companions. Moreover, I practice a technique of severing emotions and desires. Only by cutting off deep emotional ties at their peak can my spirit advance further. Otherwise, how could I have achieved true monarch status? Lin Fei understood. Initially, 100 Flowers' true monarch might have had genuine feelings for her Tao companions. But her cultivation technique required her to sever these ties at their most intense, significantly enhancing her spiritual progress. This method, while cruel, was also powerful, allowing her to rise from an ordinary Qi cultivator to a true monarch. Despite its potency, Lin Fei had no interest in such a cultivation method. His path did not require severing emotions. Today, by destroying your 30,000 battle avatars, I have avenged Qin Yuzi, Lin Fei declared. With a thought, the last battle avatar of 100 Flowers' true monarch was annihilated by his Saber world. Ha ha ha, finally, they are destroyed, Hanging Moon True Monarch laughed. True Monarch Lin, I owe you greatly for this. The task is complete, and you can claim your reward of 200,000 contribution points from the Great Dream City whenever you wish. As for me, I will now pursue and eliminate the remaining avatars of her. I will ensure she never finds peace again, ha ha ha. Hanging Moon True Monarch's laughter was a mix of satisfaction and hatred. His deep resentment towards 100 Flowers True Monarch, persisting even after achieving True Monarch status, spoke volumes about the depth of her betrayal. He was even willing to spend a lifetime entangled with her, ensuring she never found a moment's peace. Such a fate might indeed be worse than death for 100 Flowers True Monarch. With Qingyuzi's revenge settled, Lin Fei nodded and stepped back into Ancient City. Back at his residence, he reflected on Hanging Moon True Monarch's situation. Hanging Moon had seemingly given up on further cultivation or the pursuit of becoming a martial ancestor, choosing instead to spend his life in relentless pursuit of 100 Flowers True Monarch. This unyielding vendetta made Lin Fei think of his own wife. He realized it had been about a year or two since he last returned to the ancient continent. For others, even for martial kings, a year or two might seem insignificant, but for Lin Fei, it felt considerably longer. With this in mind, he entered the Great Dream City and successfully claimed his reward of 200,000 contribution points. Without hesitation, Lin Fei used 100,000 of these points to acquire the third layer of the Great Dream Heart Sutra. The fourth layer of the Great Dream Heart Sutra, however, required a staggering 1 million contribution points, a target still far off for Lin Fei. Let's explore the third layer of the Great Dream Heart Sutra. Lin Fei closed his eyes, immersing himself in the technique as the mantras of the third layer flowed through his mind. Your Great Dream Heart Sutra has now advanced to the third layer. The system's voice echoed in his consciousness. Lin Fei pondered over this development. Now that I've reached the third layer, I can enter the third layer of the dream realm. He focused his thoughts and gradually found himself enveloped in tranquility. Although still in the Great Dream City, everything else, including all the martial gods, seemed to vanish. In the third layer of the dream realm, time progressed 100 times faster than in the divine realm. 100 years here equated to just 1 year outside. Yet, Lin Fei didn't feel the passage of time any differently than usual, a testament to the value of time manipulation in this realm. Practicing and comprehending the Tao in the third layer of the dream realm seems like a good option, Lin Fei mused. 100 years of cultivation here, and only a year passes in the divine realm. He considered the implications of reaching the fourth layer of the Great Dream Heart Sutra, which reportedly boosted the time flow to 10,000 times the normal rate, 10,000 years in the dream realm equating to just 1 year in the divine realm. Lin Fei was astounded. A single day outside would translate to almost 27 years in the fourth layer of the dream realm. Such a concept was staggering. Perhaps, once I reached the fourth layer, I could try comprehending the Tao, he thought. Especially the slow progress of the world Tao, which could be contemplated over a lengthy period in the dream realm without affecting my lifespan. His eyes brightened at the prospect. Initially, Lin Fei hadn't seen much use for the accelerated time flow of the Great Dream Heart Sutra, given the rapid pace of his cultivation. Now, however, the potential benefits of this realm were becoming increasingly clear to him. But now, Lin Fei seemingly realized a grave mistake. The flow of time within dreams is merely the perception of time in Lin Fei's mind. It scarcely consumes any lifespan. Perhaps it's worth a try to see, over a prolonged period, whether the Tao of the world can elevate itself. Lin Fei always believed the Tao of the world seemed incapable of self-enhancement. Yet, this could be his misconception. Perhaps it's because the elevation of the world's Tao is exceedingly gradual. And how long had Lin Fei truly spent comprehending the world's Tao? Let's experiment. Lin Fei took a deep breath. He sat cross-legged in the third layer of the dream, beginning to silently comprehend the Tao of the world. Lin Fei's method of understanding the Tao was straightforward. He didn't decipher it himself. Instead, he allowed the Tao of the world to self-comprehend. The technique Lin Fei employed was also an illusion. Yes, an illusion. Lin Fei had already experienced 3 illusions. From the birth of the world to the emergence of life, Lin Fei saw it all with clarity. Moreover, within the dream, Lin Fei was an omnipotent deity. Thus, in the third layer of the dream, he could evolve anything. Anything Lin Fei understood, he could manifest in the dream, including evolving the world itself. The birth of the world. The next moment, darkness engulfed Lin Fei's surroundings. Then, he seemed to be in a vast void of nothingness. Surrounded by darkness, no light, no laws, nothing at all. And so, time trickled by. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. It was exceedingly lengthy. Even Lin Fei himself lost track of how much time had passed. At last, within the boundless darkness, a point emerged. This very point exploded with a thunderous roar. With the explosion of this point, the world was born. At the moment of the world's birth, Lin Fei's soul was immensely shaken. Although this was a revisitation of the content in the illusion, this time was different. The previous 3 illusions were rewards given to Lin Fei by the Sea of Origin after he survived the Thunder Tribulation. Lin Fei was merely an observer, powerless to do anything. But now, it was different. This was Lin Fei's dream. Everything was under Lin Fei's control. Chapter 558. Dream Evolution of the World. In the 3rd layer of the dream, time trickled away bit by bit. Lin Fei was now completely immersed in the dream. Within the dream, he was evolving the birth, development, and emergence of life in the world. It was as if Lin Fei himself directed the birth of the world. As though he were the creator himself. Such an experience was unprecedented for Lin Fei. Life has emerged in the world, can it continue to evolve? As life proliferates, does it give rise to intelligent beings and then to cultivators? When the number of cultivators increases, will some fortunate ones grow strong enough to transcend their own worlds? Lin Fei's mind was abuzz with various inspirations. With flashes of insight. After all, it was within a dream. He could endlessly deduce and evolve. Even if an evolution failed, it didn't matter. It was all within the dream. And so, time flew by unnoticed. Even Lin Fei didn't realize it. Your world Tao, through deducing the world in the dream, has gained insight. Your world Tao cultivation progress increased by 1%. Suddenly, after an unknown duration, a voice echoed in Lin Fei's mind. It was the system's voice. It jolted Lin Fei awake. The progress of the Tao of the world increased. Lin Fei's eyes widened. However, this also proved that the Tao of the world indeed could self-cultivate and comprehend. But it required an immensely long time. Lin Fei roughly estimated. He had spent about 3 years in the 3rd layer of the drain. 3 years. Almost 1,000 days. In the divine realm, that's merely about 10 days. But 10 days in the divine realm equates to 3 years in the drain. And during these 3 years, I've been evolving the world within the drain. For the entire 3 years, the Tao of the world only had a slight insight, increasing by just 1%. This shows that even though the Tao of the world can always cultivate itself, it requires an immense amount of time. Lin Fei pondered thoughtfully. He began to understand why the Tao of the world had been so quiet before. How long had Lin Fei been comprehending the Tao of the world? Only a few months. The Tao of the world needs years to achieve even a slight improvement. And even that's because Lin Fei continuously deduced the world. Without these deductions, perhaps the time required would be tenfold longer. It might take 30 years for the Tao of the world to achieve a 1% increase in progress. And it becomes even harder over time. Improving the Tao of the world becomes increasingly difficult. Even for Lin Fei, whose Tao of the world can cultivate itself. But if he were to seclude himself in the divine realm for arduous cultivation, he might exhaust the lifespan of a true monarch. Yet it had not reached 100% progress in the Tao of the world. Naturally, Lin Fei would not be able to master a complete Tao and achieve the status of a martial ancestor. If it's this challenging for Lin Fei, what about other true monarchs? However, if I forcefully enter the 4th layer of the dream, where time flows 10,000 times faster, wouldn't I be able to spend very little time and significantly increase the Tao of the world? Lin Fei's eyes brightened. This was a solution. No matter what the future holds. Now that the Tao of the world can be enhanced, it should be enhanced. Use every possible means to increase it, to achieve the status of a martial ancestor. Doesn't each one go through various unimaginable opportunities? Only then do they have a slight chance of becoming a martial ancestor. Lin Fei is the same now. He too must seize all sorts of opportunities. Any additional comprehension of the Tao of the world. That is his opportunity. If arduous cultivation in the dream could enhance his Tao of the world, then Lin Fei would undoubtedly undertake such cultivation in the dream. Of course, the immediate priority was to acquire another 900,000 contribution points. Added to the remaining 100,000 contribution points, this would total 1 million contribution points, allowing him to exchange for the fourth layer of the Great Dream Heart Sutra. Only by entering the fourth layer of the dream, where time flows 10,000 times faster, could he better cultivate arduously within the dream. If Lin Fei were to face the thunder tribulation, enduring the ninth tribulation and 9 heavenly thunders, he would receive the reward from the Sea of Origin, similarly enhancing his Tao of the world. Thus, the means for Lin Fei to enhance his Tao of the world were not few. Lin Fei weighed his options. To endure the 9th thunder tribulation and withstand 9 heavenly thunders, he must strengthen himself further. But currently, Lin Fei had neither fused with Saber World nor the world's laws, unable to enhance the power of Saber World, nor could he find the world's origin to enhance his physical particles. Thus, Lin Fei's strength was always just a bit short, incapable of withstanding 9 heavenly thunders. Hence, the tribulation had to be postponed. I can only go to the mission hall to see what tasks are available, Lin Fei thought. He finally made a decision to first gather 1 million contribution points. Thus, Lin Fei went to the mission hall in Great Dream City, starting to look for true monarch-level tasks. True monarch-level tasks weren't always so fortunate to offer rewards of 200,000 contribution points. 200,000 contribution points were quite significant. Last time, Lin Fei was lucky to find such a task. But now, Lin Fei glanced over, most true monarch-level tasks offered only tens of thousands of contribution points. Lin Fei was somewhat dismissive of tasks offering only tens of thousands of points, some being time-consuming. He preferred tasks that offered a large number of contribution points in one go. But these tasks offered too few points. If he were to undertake such tasks, how long would it take to accumulate 1 million contribution points? But if he didn't take on tasks and chose to cultivate now, that was also an option, though not very efficient, wasting much time. After all, the time flow in the 3rd layer of the dream is 100 times, and in the 4th layer, 10,000 times. Which is better, is clear at a glance. All right, I'll start with these tasks worth tens of thousands of contribution points. Given my current strength, tasks worth tens of thousands of points are almost effortless to complete. Completing 10 such tasks will yield several 100,000 points. Thus, Lin Fei finally made up his mind. He decided to sweep the board. He took on all the true monarch-level tasks available, especially those that didn't require too much time. And so, Lin Fei began to act. Some tasks required joining forces to confront powerful foes. Others are involved in capturing exotic beasts. Some were about competing for treasures or heavenly and earthly materials. In short, there were all sorts of tasks. Lin Fei refused none. He completed one task after another, continuously. 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 1 year. Lin Fei frenziedly completed tasks. For a whole year, he was engaged in true monarch-level tasks. And the number of tasks he completed kept increasing. 3, 5, 10, 15, 20. Finally, Lin Fei completed about 28 true monarch-level tasks, accumulating nearly 900,000 contribution points. Adding the previous 100,000 points he had, Lin Fei finally amassed 1 million contribution points. Finally, I've gathered 1 million contribution points. Now, it's time to exchange for the 4th layer of the Great Dream Heart Sutra. I hope the 4th layer of the dream won't disappoint me. Then, Lin Fei exchanged for the 4th layer of the Great Dream Heart Sutra. Your Great Dream Heart Sutra has broken through to the 4th layer. Indeed, Lin Fei's Great Dream Heart Sutra had advanced. System. Lin Fei immediately accessed the system panel to check his current status. Host, Lin Fei. Martial Realm, Martial God, 8 Thunder Tribulations. Great Dream Heart Sutra, 4th layer. 4 symbols and 5 elements creation technique, 5,300 particle worlds. World Tao, progress 17%. Seeing that the Great Dream Heart Sutra had indeed reached the 4th layer, Lin Fei felt somewhat puzzled. Isn't the Great Dream Heart Sutra supposed to have 5 layers? Why, after cultivating 4 layers of the Great Dream Heart Sutra, is the progress for the next layer not displayed? Does this mean the transition from the 4th to the 5th layer of the Great Dream Heart Sutra is entirely different?